Today we present to you videos of transgender celebrities whose transformations have shocked the world. For many longtime fans, these revelations have sparked curiosity, amazement, and disbelief. They have made you laugh, cry, and fall in love with their talent, icons who have become part of America's pop culture heritage. But this is a twist that few expected. Behind the fame, however, lies something much deeper: stories of courage, resilience, and remorseless self-discovery. These are not stories of scandal, but of strength. So stay tuned, because today we're pulling back the curtain to reveal the surprising truth behind some of Hollywood's most unlikely names, and trust me, the final revelation will leave you completely speechless. Caitlyn Jenner, born on October 28, 1949, stands as one of the most influential and polarizing figures in both the LGBTQ+ community and American culture as a whole. Long before the world knew her as Caitlyn, she was Bruce Jenner, the golden boy of the 1976 Montreal Olympics. That decathlon victory wasn't just a triumph of athleticism, it was the birth of a national hero. Bruce's face graced Wheaties boxes, his story was told in classrooms, and his name became synonymous with strength, discipline, and the American dream. For decades, he embodied everything the country celebrated in its champions. But in 2015, everything changed. In a groundbreaking interview with Diane Sawyer, Caitlyn Jenner stepped into the light and told the world her truth: she was transgender. It was a moment of raw honesty and emotional courage that shattered boundaries and sparked a national conversation about gender, identity, and authenticity. For millions, it was the first time they'd seen someone so public, so revered, speak so vulnerably about something so personal. Soon after, Caitlyn invited the world into her journey through the docuseries I Am Cait. It wasn't just another reality show, it was a window into the challenges, fears, and triumphs of a transgender woman navigating fame, family, and self-acceptance. Her memoir, The Secrets of My Life, went even deeper, peeling back the layers of decades spent hiding, struggling, and quietly yearning to live authentically. To older generations who once watched Bruce Jenner break records, Caitlyn's transformation became a powerful metaphor for reinvention, proof that it's never too late to start over, to live honestly, and to become who you truly are. Whether you see her as a hero, a trailblazer, or simply a human being trying to find peace, one thing is undeniable: Caitlyn Jenner's story forced America to look in the mirror and ask uncomfortable, necessary questions about identity and acceptance. And sometimes, it's those difficult conversations that move a society forward. Laverne Cox's story is one of courage, transformation, and unapologetic authenticity, a journey that reshaped Hollywood and redefined what visibility means for an entire generation. Born on May 29, 1972, in Mobile, Alabama, Laverne didn't just rise to fame, she broke barriers. An Emmy-nominated actress, producer, and one of the most powerful voices in the fight for transgender equality, Cox became a household name through her groundbreaking role as Sophia Bursett on Netflix's Orange is the New Black. In 2014, she made history as the first openly transgender person ever nominated for a Primetime Emmy in an acting category, a milestone that transcended entertainment. It wasn't just her win, it was a win for representation itself. It signaled a cultural shift, forcing America to finally look at transgender people not as caricatures, but as complex, human, and worthy of empathy. But behind that success story lies a history of pain and perseverance. Growing up in the Deep South, Laverne faced relentless bullying, isolation, and the crushing weight of being misunderstood. Yet, instead of letting it break her, she turned her suffering into strength. Through creativity and conviction, she rose above it all, proving that art can be a weapon of survival. Her advocacy has become as influential as her acting. Using her global platform, Cox has fearlessly spoken out about healthcare inequality, workplace discrimination, and the epidemic of violence against transgender women of color. That same year, she graced the cover of Time magazine under the headline, "The Transgender Tipping Point," a defining moment that solidified her place as a cultural trailblazer. As a producer, Laverne continued to change narratives behind the camera, notably with the 2020 Netflix documentary Disclosure, which explored Hollywood's long, complicated history with trans representation. The project earned her a Daytime Emmy Award, making her the first openly transgender woman to win an Emmy of any kind. For many, especially older audiences, Laverne's story strikes a deeper chord. It's not just about Hollywood glamour, it's about resilience, grace, and the unwavering courage to live one's truth in a world that often punishes difference. Laverne Cox stands as living proof that authenticity isn't a risk, it's power. And with every word, every role, and every act of advocacy, she reminds the world that visibility, compassion, and truth can spark real change. Michaela Jaé Rodriguez, born January 7, 1991, in Newark, New Jersey, is more than just an actress and singer. She's a force of nature who redefined what it means to make history in Hollywood. From the moment she could stand on a stage, MJ was chasing the spotlight, not for fame, but for freedom. Her earliest performances in school plays led her to the vibrant New York theater scene, where she earned an Obie Award for her powerful role in Street Children. But it wasn't until she embraced her truth and came out as a transgender woman that her voice truly soared, reshaping both her life and her art. The world first met the full brilliance of Michaela Jaé in Pose, FX's groundbreaking drama about 1980s New York ballroom culture, a world born from struggle, love, and unapologetic pride. As Blanca Rodriguez Evangelista, MJ became the beating heart of the show, a housemother who built family out of rejection, love out of pain, and dignity out of defiance. With every glance, every line, she delivered something rare, tenderness wrapped in unshakable strength. In 2021, MJ made Emmy history as the first transgender woman ever nominated in a major acting category. Just a year later, she shattered another barrier, becoming the first transgender actress to win a Golden Globe for Best Actress in a TV drama. But awards are only part of her legacy. Beyond the red carpets and applause, MJ has become a voice for change, using her platform to champion transgender rights, visibility, and the simple, undeniable truth that everyone deserves respect and opportunity. Named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in 2022, Michaela Jaé continues to inspire through her music, her activism, and her relentless authenticity. For older viewers, her story isn't just about gender, it's about courage. It's about the power of living openly, leading with love, and proving that the most transformative stories are always the ones that dare to tell the truth. Dominique Jackson's journey reads like a powerful odyssey, from the small island of Tobago to the bright lights of Hollywood. A model, actress, director, and producer, she has become one of the most magnetic and fearless voices for transgender visibility and human dignity. To millions of viewers, she's immortalized as Electra Abundance, the fierce, commanding housemother from FX's Pose, a character who turned pain into poise and struggle into style. But behind that iconic screen presence lies a woman who fought her way through darkness to become the beacon she is today. From her earliest years, Dominique knew she was different. Her truth didn't fit the expectations of those around her. What followed was a storm of rejection, homelessness, and heartbreak. She faced ridicule, isolation, and the kind of loneliness that could break even the strongest spirit. But Dominique refused to break. Instead, she turned her wounds into wings. With unshakable determination, she stepped into the world of fashion, walking the runways that once felt unreachable. Her poise and presence soon made her a force, then acting found her, and the world began to see the beauty and brilliance she had carried all along. In her memoir, The Transsexual from Tobago, Dominique lays bare her truth with striking honesty, chronicling not just the pain, but the triumph of becoming. Her words echo like a lifeline to those who feel unseen, reminding them that survival itself is an act of courage. Off-screen, she's just as powerful. Through her work with organizations like Destination Tomorrow and Pride Live, Dominique advocates fiercely for LGBTQ+ rights, healthcare access, and the freedom to live authentically. Her recognition in Time magazine's 100 Most Influential People of 2022 was more than an honor. It was a symbol of how far truth and perseverance can carry a soul once silenced. Dominique Jackson's story is a testament to the power of authenticity. She reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to rise anyway. In a world that often demands conformity, Dominique stands tall, radiant, and unapologetic, proof that living your truth isn't just brave, it's revolutionary. Janet Mock, born March 10, 1983, in Honolulu, Hawaii, is far more than a writer, producer, and activist. She's a cultural force who helped redefine what it means to live and speak one's truth in modern America. Her rise wasn't born from overnight fame, but from years of grit, clarity, and unapologetic honesty. Growing up as a young trans girl of color, Janet faced a world that didn't always see her humanity. There was bullying, rejection, and the quiet ache of being misunderstood. But instead of breaking under that weight, she built herself, piece by piece, into someone the world could no longer ignore. In her teens, she transitioned and began living authentically, turning every challenge into a declaration of self-worth. Her breakthrough came in 2014 with Redefining Realness, a memoir that stunned readers with its raw honesty and emotional depth. It wasn't just the story of a transgender woman. It was a story of survival, of becoming, and of choosing truth even when it hurt. Janet wrote about growing up in poverty, navigating identity, and finding love in a world that often refused to see her. Her words spoke not only to the trans community but to anyone who has ever struggled to be seen, to be real. She continued her journey with surpassing certainty, chronicling her 20s, the years of ambition, heartbreak, and discovery that turned her from survivor into storyteller. But her greatest cultural impact came through television. As a writer, director, and executive producer for FX's Pose, Janet made history as the first trans woman of color to hold such a role in a major TV series. Through Pose, she didn't just tell stories, she gave voice to an entire generation of Black and Latinx trans women who had long been erased from the screen. In 2019, she shattered another barrier by signing a groundbreaking deal with Netflix, paving the way for even more diverse, authentic storytelling on a global stage. Janet Mock's life reminds us that transformation isn't just about who we become, it's about how courage can turn pain into power. Her journey stands as a beacon for anyone daring to live out loud, proving that when we write our own truth, we don't just change our lives, we change the world. Indya Moore's journey is one of courage, authenticity, and transformation, a story that shines brightly in a world still learning to embrace difference. Born in 1995 in the Bronx, New York, Indya has become far more than an actor or model. They are a force of nature, a voice for the unheard, and a symbol of what it means to live boldly and unapologetically. At just 15, Indya stepped into the worlds of acting and modeling, fields that had long shut their doors to transgender and non-binary people. But instead of waiting for permission, they broke those doors down. What set Indya apart wasn't just raw talent, but a rare kind of resilience, the quiet fire of someone determined to exist on their own terms. Their breakout role as Angel Evangelista on FX's Pose catapulted them into the national spotlight. Set against the glittering yet gritty backdrop of New York's ballroom culture in the 1980s and 90s, Pose was more than a show, it was a movement. Through Angel, a trans woman chasing love and modeling dreams while navigating the harsh realities of survival, Indya delivered a performance pulsing with tenderness and truth. For countless viewers, it was the first time they saw themselves reflected on screen, with dignity, beauty, and complexity. But Indya's power extends far beyond television. They've modeled for some of the world's most iconic fashion houses, graced the covers of major magazines, and used every platform to speak out against injustice, from the discrimination that plagues healthcare to the violence faced by trans women of color. Indya doesn't just talk about change, they embody it. In 2019, Time magazine named them one of the 100 most influential people in the world. A recognition not of celebrity, but of impact. Because Indya Moore's story isn't simply about fame. It's about fighting for visibility, for dignity, and for the right to exist freely. They remind us that authenticity is not weakness, it's power. And that living your truth, especially when the world resists it, is one of the most radical acts of love there is. Indya Moore continues to stand as a living testament to compassion, courage, and revolution, urging us all to see one another more clearly, love more deeply, and build a future where every soul can shine without fear. Candis Cayne, born in August 1971 on the island of Maui, Hawaii, is more than just an actress. She's a trailblazer, a performer, and a living symbol of courage who shattered the boundaries of both entertainment and gender identity. Trained as a dancer, she chased her dreams to New York City in the late 1980s, where she became a dazzling force in the city's underground drag and performance scene. Through the vibrant chaos of 1990s nightlife, Candis used the stage not just to entertain, but to express her truth, at a time when being openly transgender in show business was nearly unthinkable. Her breakthrough moment came in 2007, when she took on the role of Carmelita in ABC's Dirty Sexy Money. In that powerful performance, Candis made television history as the first openly transgender actress to play a major recurring role in a primetime drama. But her impact went far beyond Hollywood headlines. For millions of viewers, it was the first time they saw a transgender woman portrayed not as a caricature, but as a full, complex human being, with love, pain, and purpose. It wasn't just visibility, it was validation. From there, Candis continued to light up screens in shows like Transparent and I Am Kate, where her openness about the triumphs and trials of living authentically inspired a generation. Off-screen, she has become a fearless advocate for transgender rights, using her voice in public campaigns, workshops, and community outreach to uplift those who have been silenced for too long. For many, Candis's story is more than a biography, it's a beacon. A reminder that strength isn't about fitting in, but about standing tall when the world tells you to shrink. Her journey proves that living your truth doesn't just transform your own life, it creates a path for others to follow. In a world obsessed with appearances, stars like Candis Cayne remind us that true transformation is about courage, honesty, and self-love. If her story moved you, don't let it end here. Share this video, drop a comment about the transformation that inspired you most, and hit that subscribe button for more untold Hollywood stories. Because here at Exposed Hollywood, we don't just tell stories, we reveal the truths the world tried to keep in the dark.